I've got a product that removes paint just like magic, and I'm just about to prove it. If you've ever had paint on a football shirt like this, you'll know exactly how frustrating it is and how hard it is to get off. It's hard to believe that there was a time back in the day where people would wear classic 1990s football shirts to paint in. I mean, please, I've seen loads of football shirts with paint on. Normally, funny enough, they're Liverpool shirts. But when I saw this classic 1996 Bayern away shirt covered in paint, I had to rescue it and show you how to do it. Since we've launched, I've done a fair few videos on how to remove paint using various different products. There's Genelite paint stripper, that was really good. Even things like acetone. It's fantastic at removing paint products, but I found something new that works even better than that, and I think you're going to like it. So please stick with me, let me show you what it is and how I use it. And just a quick one, if you restore football shirts, subscribe to this channel because I post tutorials just like this every 2 weeks. So what is this magical product that I'm going to be reviewing today? It is Bartoline's Paint Predator Fast Action. What I found with this is that not only does it not have quite as strong a smell, it doesn't seem to be as harsh on the material or leave as much of the marks that need washing off afterwards. It's quite widely available. I got this one from Amazon. There's a link to that in the description below. And like I say, I've done a few different videos on paint removal, and there's a link to the playlist up there that goes through all the various different ones. And if you've tried something that I haven't reviewed, why don't you leave a comment below and let me know how it went. But for today's video, it's all about the Paint Predator. It works really well, and I'm going to show you how I use it. So here we are over on the bench. We've got our lovely classic Bayern shirt with, this is the paint stain I'm going to work on first. And underneath we've got my glass Pyrex dish rather than the board, because this is wipe clean. Actually, let's give it a bit of a wipe beforehand just to remove any of the previous marks. There we go. It's easier to wipe this clean than it is to use a wooden board. So we're going to put this inside the shirt so that we don't have any contamination from this going through onto the back side of the shirt. And what we're going to do with our Paint Predator and a toothbrush, we're going to put a little bit on, and we're going to rub it, not too hard, we're just going to apply it to the front. Now, what you'll need in terms of, while that's working away, you're going to need some kitchen roll and one of our scrapers. There's a link to the scrapers up there. You can buy them from our stand store. So we're going to leave this on for about 10-15 minutes or so. What I'm also going to do for good luck is I'm going to apply some to the back of the stain. Let's get that out of the way. And I'm going to apply some so that you can get to the back of the paint stain as well. And you can apply it quite conservatively. And we're going to leave this for 15 minutes and then we'll be back. So here we are, about 10 minutes later, and I'm going to get my scraper now. The Paint Predator's had a chance to sit there and do its work. And now with my scraper, I'm just going to gently see if it's starting to work. And look, you can see already that it is starting to work. Now, there's many different types of paint. Water-based, acrylic, eggshell. Not entirely sure what type of paint this is, but what I have found is that Paint Predator works really well on pretty much all types of paint. So whereas some solvents might be better or some products might be better for certain types of paint, this seems to be a pretty good all-rounder. A bit like Paul Warhurst in Champ Manager. Right, what I'm going to do is I am going to go through and I'm just going to start scraping it off. So you can see it's starting to come off. something to be aware of on shirts is if there's a grain. This shirt doesn't really have a grain, but if there's a shirt like the Total 90s, there's a diagonal grain. And our last video was around a United shirt that was a Total 90, had a diagonal grain. You want to scrape in line with the grain so you don't damage the material too much. But with this one, there isn't much of a grain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and just scrape away, lightly scrape away, lift the paint off and wipe it on my kitchen towel. I mean, look, you can see it's really coming off in spades now. Look at that. But watching me scrape this off isn't much of a spectator sport. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, give it a go once, and then I'll be back. Round one is done, and I'd say that's probably removed about 50% of the paint so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new application of it. And with a lot of these products, you have to do multiple rounds, either of washes or reapplying the product. But I'm going to focus a little bit more over the S now, because I've intentionally left this bit here because we need to be a bit careful with the S. This is a embroidered Adidas. So we're going to need to be a little bit careful, and I'm going to put some of this on, leave it for another couple of minutes, 5-6 minutes. It's already had one amount sat for a bit on it, so you don't have to leave it quite so long for the second time. But I'm going to leave it for a bit and I'll be back. So 5 minutes later, you can see it's had a little bit more of a chance to sit, and you can see, like I say, it's starting to pretty much entirely come away. Now for the area around the embroidered, sorry, I'm rubbish at multitasking. For the area around the embroidered letters, you may want to be careful using the scraper. What you might want to do instead is to just use your toothbrush, not the toothbrush you use for your teeth, that'd be terrible, but a toothbrush, ideally an old one, and just use that around the letters. That then gets into the nooks and crannies of the stitching, but it doesn't damage the stitching as the scraper probably would do. So there's a little tip. What I'm going to do now, this is almost finished and ready for the next step. So I'm going to do the last little bits, then I'll show you the next step. Right, we are now ready for the next step. So I'm going to use, you can either use kitchen towel, you can use your microfiber cloth. I'm going to use the kitchen towel, and I'm just going to rub the excess away. And you can see now that that paint is pretty much gone, but there'll still be some in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a quick hand wash. Now, you've got to be careful not to let the paint stripper sit for too long that it dries, or that the residue left from removing it dries, because that'll make it harder for you to get it off in this last bit, this washing bit. So I'm going to give it a hand wash. I'm going to put some fairy liquid on it, give it a little rub with warm water, and I'll let it dry, and then I'll show you the result. Coming up are the top 3 mistakes that people make trying to remove paint from their football shirts that will ruin them. And I'm just about to show you them, but before I do, let me tell you about my new ebook that I've launched. It's available now over on my Stan store. Over 110 pages, packed with insights from more than 5 years of football shirt restoration experience. It covers everything you need to know, from identifying materials to solvent safety and advanced techniques for removing even the toughest name sets. Now, before I do the big reveal and show you the finished result, let me tell you about the 3 most common mistakes people make during this process. Number 1, they rub too hard. Really, you need to let the paint stripper do its job, a bit like we let DTF remover or VLR do its job when we're removing name sets. Paint stripper is no different. Let it eat away the paint, and all you need to do is be nice and gentle with removing sort of the layers of paint. If it means you have to repeat the process over and over, so be it, but it's better than damaging the shirt. So with the scraper, don't scrape. even though it's called a scraper, just use it to remove the layers of paint. And if you come across something like the embroidery on the Adidas bit, or the Opel, the padded flock sponsor, something along those lines, use a toothbrush and you can just rub with that and then rinse it out, rather than using a scraper, because that might just damage the fibres. The second mistake that people make is they use too much of the paint stripper. You don't need to slather it on and leave a whole lake of it on the area you're trying to get off. Because remember, the bits at the top of it, they're not actually touching the paint, so they're not doing anything. So just use enough to cover the area of the paint that you're trying to remove. And remember, like I say, don't let it dry, or any of the residue as you've done the removal dry, before rinsing it out. Otherwise, you'll get nasty stains that will be a pig to remove. And the third mistake that people make, and this is a very general mistake for all sorts of football shirt restoration tasks, is they're not patient. They rush things. Please, don't rush things. It's taken me years to perfect the methods that I have, and I've damaged loads of shirts by rushing things and trying to do it too quickly. It doesn't help. Just be patient and let the solvent or the paint stripper or anything else do its job. And now for the moment of truth, the big reveal. If I can just remind you what it did look like, it was covered in paint. The Opel sponsor was covered in paint. It was painted up by the Adidas and all over the material. So what we've done looks fantastic. I mean, wow, look at that. All the paint removed, no damage from rubbing, no solvent stains, back looking fresh. Love it, absolutely love it. So here's another 3 tips if you're going to follow this process. 1, always test the paint stripper in an inconspicuous area of the shirt, just in case it could damage it. Some shirts are made from a different material that respond differently. It's very rare, but always test it, like on the inside of a hem or something along those lines. And remember, even though it's called a scraper, don't scrape. Use it to swipe along and wipe away the paint, and use a bit of kitchen towel just to wipe the paint off the scraper after each swipe. And the last tip, make sure you use some good lighting. I mean, this time of year it gets dark quite early in the year, so make sure you've got some good lighting and then you don't miss any bits. And if this video has helped you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I post tutorials every 2 weeks, and there's all sorts of other shorts that go up that provide all sorts of tips. And if you've liked this video, please remember to click that like button as well. It really helps us with the algorithm. And if you're concerned about missing out on any of our future videos, don't forget, just hit that bell notification icon and you won't miss out on any of our future releases. And if you have enjoyed this video, you're going to love this one and this one.